Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. Thank you for watching my video. So in this video we continue on the DFD. So we try to draw the DFD step by step. In the previous video we already learned on the symbol and what is the purpose of the DFD, data flow diagram. So in this video we continue on how to draw the DFD. So there are several steps. Okay, in order to draw the data flow diagram, okay, the first step you need to draw the context diagram. So the context diagram is the diagram that show the overall process of your information system. And then after you have the context diagram, next you need to draw a diagram 0 DFD. Okay, and then after that you will draw the lower level diagram, means from the overall part, general part, then you try to expand your diagram into a more specific task. Okay, so first, this is the example of context diagram. So this context diagram show the overall business process as just one process. So in this context diagram, the process only is referred to your IS system, refer to the information system, so with 0 index. So that's only the process in the context diagram. And then you need to identify what are the data flows that will involve in your system, as well as the external entities. Okay, this context diagram is the top level view of an information system that show the system boundary and the scope. It also shows all the outside entities that receive the information from or contribute information to the system. Means based on the context diagram, you already know that who are the external entities that will involve directly and indirectly to your information system. Okay, so in this example, we create the ordering system. So order system. So in order system, it involves the customer as the external entities, and then the warehouse as the external entities that will provide the input and receive the output. Okay, the external entities refer to those who will contribute the input to your system and will receive the output. Okay, and then we have the sale representation, bank, and accounting. So in this context diagram, you need to identify the users of your system and what are the data that will interact with those users. Okay, another example here is a grading system. So refer your grading system as the 0. Unique reference number for your process grading system is 0. So process 0 represent the entire grading system. Okay, this one is just general part, and then you identify what are the user of the grading system. Okay, for this example, the user of this grading system, we have a student record system, student, and the instructor. Okay, your external entity may be a person or system that will interact with your system. Means that, okay, for example, let's say we have student portal system and then future. So some of the information student portal provide to the future. So future is the system, student portal is external entities for the future. Okay. For the student portal is the IS system, in future is the external entities of the student portal. So it's something like that. Okay, so this is another example with the grading system. We have student, we have the student record system, and we have the instructor. So you need to identify what are the data flow between each entities and the process involved. Okay, after done with the context diagram, you can already imagine the process of your system. Next step, you need to draw the diagram 0 DFD. Okay, in the context diagram, we only have one process that refers to your entire system. So in order system, you can add another process. Okay, for this example, it started from ordering system. So you divide the ordering system into several processes. Based on this example in the slide, it shows that from the ordering system, the first process is fill order. And then after fill order, we have another process that we call create invoice. And then another process is apply payment. Okay. Then at this point, you can add the data storage. From the ordering system, now you divide into several parts. Expand from the ordering system on several function or several process that involve in your ordering system. Your external entity is still similar, but you add more on the processes, and you can now have the data storage. Okay, this example for the grading system. Okay, based on the grading system 0, you expand this process to several process. So now we have established the grade book, and then we have assigned final grade, and then we have grade student. In data storage here, we have one data storage grade books. So basically, from this one, you change to this one. Okay, you need to identify what are the process involved in your grading system. So for this example, it's identified that establish the grade books is a part of the process in the grading system. So in establish the grade book, instructor will put the parameters, set the parameters to this grading system. So it will establish the grade books input by the instructor. Okay, so in the establish grade book here, it will generate class grade book, and then this one will be input to the data storage here. Okay, and then we have student record system that contribute the class roster to the established grade book. Okay, this is the first process. And it continue with another process, assign the final grade. So to assign the final grade, it must based on the grade book, and then process the final grade, and then forward to the student record system. So the final grade will be forward to the student record system, and also will be saved to the data store. And the next process is grade student work. So in order to do the grade student work, student need to submit the work. When student submit the work, the process grade of student work can be done, and the student grade will be stored into the grade book. Okay, after it able to generate the grade, then it will display to the student. Okay, another process involved here is produce the grade report. So in order to produce the grade report, you will take the data from the data storage class details, and then the report will be displayed to the instructor. So this is on how we do the expanding from the context diagram DFD. Okay, the third step, draw lower level diagram. So we have the leveling and balancing. So in the process of leveling, the process of drawing a series of increasingly detailed diagram until all function primitive are identified. It means we need to identify all the primitive functional in your system. So you can exploding, partitioning, and decomposing your processes. And then you do the balancings. So in the balancing, maintains the consistency among a set of DFD by ensuring that input and output data flow align properly. And you avoid not involve a lot of the processes in your DFD diagram. Okay, this one example of leveling. So you put 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So mean you know what are the first process, the second process, and the third process. Okay, this one diagram 0, and then diagram from context diagram, you come out with diagram 0. Okay, and then you expand to the third diagram. So the third diagram here, you expand to another part, leveling. Okay, the 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, and 3.4. Okay, this one is example of ordering system. So based on the ordering system, you expand to the diagram 0. You have one process, fill order. Second process, create the invoice. The third process is the apply payment. So in diagram 3, okay, in diagram 3, from the third process, now you expand to another proper processes. So in order to do the apply payment, you must have the post payment, deposit payment, prepare the accounting entry, and then pay the commission. Okay, these activities or the process must be logically and related to your system. So the process 3.1, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.4 here is the leveling. Okay. So these are the guidelines for you to draw the DFD. So the first part is draw the context diagram. So it fits on one page only. So identify your context diagram first. Create it first. Sketch your context diagram first. And then use the same name of your system as the process name in your context diagram. Okay, number 3, use the Unix name within each set of symbol. So you are aware with to differentiate between each set of symbol. Okay, and then number 4, do not cross the line. So make it look properly, TD, and easy to read. Okay, restrict the number of symbol in any DFD. Okay, do not use too many symbol. And on lower level of diagram with multiple processes, you should not have more than 9 process symbol. So easy for you to understand your system. And provide a unique name and reference number for each process. So easy for you to look back on the processes and obtain user input and feedback from your DFD diagram. From after you prepare your data flow diagram, then get the feedback from your user about your system. So from that, you get the feedback, and then you can recreate your DFD. Okay, all process name must be in a verb process, and then maintain the organization's viewpoint in naming the processes, and let the layout often place processes in the center. So in terms of the layout on how to draw your DFD, please ensure that the process is at the centers and input from the left to the right, and the output goes to the right side, and store the minutes of the processes. So these are the tips in order to come out with your own DFD. Okay, so for your attendance, please identify the mistake of this diagram 0 in comment to the to this video. Okay, thank you and assalamualaikum.